automatically. Okay. Okay. Money is at 0. And I got to the grocery store and I'm afraid that somebody is outside and hears me talking. Tomorrow is Saturday and my mom is about to return again, and I want to ask that motorcycle sound annoys me. Why does stuff like this annoy me so much? I don't want any answer. I went to the grocery store and I was having this fear that this looks like excessive and people will see it and say, oh, the autofocus is shit. People will see it and say excessive and you actually have it really good, and well, I went to the grocery store and I got these. It's part of my food plan because now to answering this voice of criticism and fear, which I think is an opinion that I've picked up just through around, being around people, and inevitably people have voiced an opinion about somebody else, and I think this could be me. Like, this person could also have the same opinion about me if the person would know about me. And I was looking in my... I'm about to close the window, so because I think a person walks by and hears me, or is just getting weird and uncomfortable. At the same time, I think nobody gives a fuck about anything I think, say, and do, but at the same time, I feel people hearing has completely negative consequences. And I will get mocked or bullied, or something happens, some repercussion, or there will be, sayings will come around and people will think I'm crazy. I bought these and I went into the checkout and I realized I had €5 too little, and then I put the meat back, and then I realized, well, I have to call my grandfather. I have put my laptop for sale already, and 2 people have put it onto their watch list, so it's a good sign that it gets sold. And now I'm here, and I wonder, like, I'm afraid that to find a job, because I feel everything will get repeated, and it will start with I immediately this is the shit, or this is the stuff that I wouldn't like to talk with people, like with certain people about, people like my art teacher Adam Duff, who wants to fix stuff, or he would say, I don't know, I just don't. I think he says too much sometimes, often. But I just want to get this out right now. Now I got this, and of course I got the gummy bears. Yeah, it's the deed here. I watched a lot of Minecraft YouTubers, and I found one. I watched the Escape and Run Parasites. There's 3 friends who do this mod that is basically the thing where a meteorite lands in the Minecraft world and infects everything, and the creatures that emerge from this, and the assimilated animals and people, and the subsequent flesh the fusions of flesh that lead to creatures, that these things look so artistic and so great and so cool. And at the end there's one that's literally it's a Draconite. It's literally, I'm not a Magic the Gathering fan. Like I hear people, especially my art teacher who's a fan, it's like, I don't give a fuck about this. I find it cool, but it's like, burning the equivalent of my house is burning. I can't appreciate this stuff, because the baseline, I have no baseline, so like I want to fix myself 30 years in, and my parents couldn't. I feel my parents even couldn't fix themselves, and where should I learn this? And I can't even, like, there's nobody I can talk with, let alone with my parents, because my sister neither. And but I watched these three troubled guys, and it's just it's a cool metaphor. I don't know, I took it as a metaphor for my life. When my mom comes back, it's like the meteor is about to land, which I feel like this I like this as a strong metaphor. For example, when I had a conflict point with her, I don't know how I should phrase it without sounding like I'm blaming her. But next day, 6 in the morning, you usually wake up at 8 or so. 6 in the morning, she slams the door open. Who the fuck stole 3,000 euros from my safe? Which one of you? And it's like, it happens every single time. It's like, I don't know, it's like stuff like this happens. Like, and in my mind I put up, like, it's no point. I can no longer try to make sense of this with what's that called? Cause and the usual cause and effect, maybe hurting her or stuff like this. I don't know. not. I mean, yeah. This is what I mean with the beyond reasoning. That is just an abstract, just based on feelings and assuming stuff. How it might be an ego hurt or something, and then put my sister smoking marijuana, and then just without logic putting it to, or with logic, but there's no, I don't know how to describe it, but assuming that maybe if I have caused a conflict between my mom and me when I get hurt, and when I don't want, or when I don't want to just accept her assumptions about reality and say I want to have a job based on the stuff that I'm, there's a door slammed outside, and my mind immediately thinks that somebody angry at me for the things that I say. Like it's ingrained in me. Somebody slams the door, and I think the person heard what I said and is angry when I say I want to have a job that I'm passionate about. Because who the fuck do you think that you are, Ismail? But saying this, and this causes conflict in her, and she starts saying presumptuous stuff about me, and me refuting, I don't know how to say it, it's me saying, no, that's not true what you say, and she getting even more angry, because at this point I feel like she wants, it's not about, she doesn't, I immediately think about my friend from trade school, who always says like he's a Russian dude, so take it with a little grain of misogyny. So woman, I'm sorry, Ola. Woman, they have no logic. He says this. It's like, no, it doesn't. I don't agree, but like it's immediate. Like this is the stuff that you can't solve with logic. I don't say, because logic is this thing that is basically it's not an absolute. So it's a reflection of your own thought process. So if you have I don't know. That's how I see, and the stuff what my mom wants with the stuff, or her. It's not about understanding me, or it's not about feeling hurt. No, it's about feeling hurt, but her. But what this is. What this is, I think, is her lack of ability to channel this hurt that she has through her own childhood trauma, and she lets it out through antagonizing people and putting them into roles, but in a fragmented way. That, like, I think that's how it looks. Maybe she has a complete agenda, and it's all about just controlling people. But like at this point, how it looks from the outside, she lets off steam, and she does it by precisely attacking your vulnerabilities, or constructing a image of you that paints you as a bad person or something. And the thing is, her reaction, that she does not want me not defending myself. She does not want discourse, or to actually know the truth about things. She does not want you to change or challenge the presumption she puts on about you. It's not just a presumption, she doesn't want to challenge you, putting you into a certain drawer in this moment, because it's about I think creating this not this boogeyman, but creating this negative ideal of you that she beats until she is satisfied inside. That's what she does with these words. It's basically acting out something or playing out a something, and at this point I think it's not about reasoning anymore. It's about giving this emotion that she has inside a manifesting it, and you inevitably, or I, become a tool or an actor in this moment. And my identity, not about identity, the truth about me and what I feel, or my perspective, or what is actually true, it's not about that. It's irrelevant in this moment, because it's not about that. It's about her getting the satisfaction of punching back to something that I don't know what it is, but it's about letting this pent-up emotion out. And it doesn't, like, I get hurt after this, but like before that, like when I was younger, she excused herself a lot. Now she doesn't do it because I am trying to separate myself from her, like in my own weak ass, in my own weak way. Like I barely step a foot outside, like, and I'm still afraid of everything. And well, now the weather outside changed and feels so good outside. But that's what it's as if God is smiling to me, saying, "Good, you've done well." You've done well, my child. Let it out. Okay. Some child went in front of the window. Part of me thinks the child was running away from a bully, and so I projected immediately. And maybe the child heard my voice and said, felt safe. Kind of, I don't know. That's immediate projection. My friend, I don't want to say it. I don't like this word assuming anymore, because I had something with my friend Vero, and I was letting out something that my fear about how I think she thinks about me, because it's like my fear of being judged by people, even my closest people, and she took it as an attack. And stop fucking assuming, and this was like a strikeout for me. I was about, like, this left a massive, for me personally, like, I'm now conflicted about this friendship, but she's done so much stuff for me, but like, now this is where this was a strikeout for me. No. Any other person, any other way, and I would have actually ended the friendship. Because, and you can argue, rightfully so, that this is my way, my lack of, I communicate not good. And she immediately gave me the feedback I should use the I statement, which I actually knew, and I don't know what I said, but you express this fear, and it causes I feel like it's in similar nature to my relationship with my mom. So yeah, it's one of the fears I also have, with a girlfriend or with a wife, that I will have, that this will be exactly the same thing, that At my most vulnerable place, she will go down with the hammer because I hurt her ego basically, and I don't like this. Sounds condescending because I said something that in this moment, and I also didn't like that she used her ADHS as an argument piece to shut me up, and it's not like. I wonder if I used my autism as my supposed, like it's supposedly because of I have my own perspective through my growing up in childhood, and it's it's hard for me to believe that this diagnosis is true, but now I'm 30 years in, and I feel I don't want to say wrong words, so I say everything with it's up to change how I define this when I get a clearer image, but I say it's weighing down against a cognitive load that I carry around with me when I second guessing, because I never got the validation that the stuff I think and say is true. I mean, the stuff that I learned about, I don't know, it's like about my own feelings too. I don't know, but it's this thing that that I get. It's just there's a dude like talking outside, and I suspect that he will walk past the window to get a peek in. So keep the camera there. So I don't know. I have this fear. It's this fear because I feel I got reminded of being bullied in middle school, and being a weirdo, but I went into the cellar and I see a bunch of my dad's stuff just thrown in front of this door. My sister got really angry with my dad and his orderliness or lack thereof, and I feel like it won't be much time until I will be the next person. And it's my fear that that I will be the next, what's that called, the next Baustelle to obsess about and trying to be fixed, because I have my fear, and if I can't manage it myself, then my mom has to take it in her own hands. And since my sister, which I feel like she becomes a carbon copy of my mom in a way, that she will, at least in her mannerisms and her life philosophy, her outlook, and that she will try to, once stuff with my dad's over, I'll be the next person, and this will happen regardless of how I feel and what I'm doing right now. So and I also feel that she thinks that I hate her. She has just formulated this herself in her own mind, and I feel like this makes her feel, I don't know what it is, maybe, and I don't hate her, it was never that. It's when you slam into, this happened after this, or I don't know, it's like that I don't give a fuck about anything, and this I carry this with me till this day, and and she puts her, I don't know, her electric scooter at the stairs, but you know, because you know, or and talks whatever, it's like let me say this, you know, that I don't know, I mean I know, but I can't feel like I have justification to formulate this, say this, because I feel like, you know, we will get into the weeds of the stuff that I say, and it will just get picked apart. And you know, this is wrong, this is right, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, and you know, but not about, you know, the stuff that when I express how I feel or stuff like this, or when I don't know what it is. It's like I have no word for it. It's such an abstract thing that I don't understand. But I find being in the proximity of my sister unpleasant, and especially of my mom, because I feel my mom is on edge, and she puts people on edge. I don't know, I feel like she has strong values about how people should look, act, and believe in. And when it's like, and then I repeat like the word of another friend from trade school, who said like, women are like minefields. And it's like, no, from our perspective, no, toxic people are like minefields. And this also right now reminds me of, you know, what a friend of my grandfather said when, you know, the woman came in to the place where I did my illustration work. She takes in like, how much? I don't know. I don't want to say it's too high. My feeling wants to say she takes 32 euros an hour, fully, or 25. Let's say 25. Inflation. Let's say 32. For the sake of dramatizing, it's the second highest salary of every single person. I'm there working. No, there are two types of how you work is, and there are multiple types, but there are two types in this organization. Is, you know, the typical, you get your monthly salary. She gets a monthly salary. She can sit on her fat ass every day, and she gets her like 25 to gets her 32 euros an hour. And let's say her 3.5 grand a month. But when I have to, gain money, I have to, show, like, I have to work and put in the form, and then I have to present the work in the form of hours that, that are described. My work's an assessment, basically. Anyway, everybody knew that I'm diligent. So I wasn't audited the entire time. Or almost at all. But when the times got tough, my boss died, and I blame myself, my bronchitis. Like, now you get this from my own mouth, and if you take my word as gospel, and I feel like people take when I express my doubt, my self-doubt, and I beat myself up. My parents, my dad and my mom especially, take these words as gospel, and they hold me against this. And this is like, at this point, I don't want to talk with them anymore. And I don't want to, there's sometimes I feel like they're literal minded about, I say something and they go on about semantics. When I say, I don't know what it was, but now I feel like I'm also painting a boogeyman, just like my mom does with me, and maybe she pays me back, but this is like this stuff. I will never break out of this. Like at this point, I will just firmly lock myself, firmly get myself stuck in the mud and just deconstruct every single piece of deconstruct every single piece of individuation or every single piece of empowerment that I have about myself, and at the end I will take responsibility for every single thing that happens to me. When I say that, my mom paints a negative idealized person that she beats up. This will, me taking my responsibility onto me, because she didn't do it because that's what she does, or trauma she did, because I did it to her. What I do right now in these videos, for example, and this is how I will end up talking to myself and take away and taint every fact with this fear, and there won't be anybody who will double check the stuff that I say, or even they will mess my fear. And sometimes I express these things because I feel like it's so ironic or ridiculous, and I want people to admit that it's bad, but when I say it, people just take it as is and just take me by my word, and this guess it wasn't weird at all. I guess it was just normal, and I'm just sensitive, just like my dad says. That's a bad note to leave it as. I want to call my grandfather. I've now stocked up, and I had to put back the fish sticks, or the fish. I have some remaining, but let's say I have 2 days of things left. At least I view it as I have a food plan, and things are in certain ratios, and this was the greatest thing that I ever did, because I feel great when I follow my food plan, even though I struggled to maintain this because of every stuff that happens around me with my emotions, and I never feel safe, and now I feel like when I get to a psychologist and I say I don't feel safe, they will just drug me up, or give me stuff, and they will expect me to. No, they will not ask if the environment that I'm in is unsafe, and we will not get to talk about the beatings, or when I bring up the beatings, it's like, does it happen now? No, it's in the past. Okay, let's go. Like, people change, or but I hold on to the thing that the beating comes from a certain belief, or a certain relationship or a certain dynamic of relating to people. And just because the beatings, I feel the person will not ask why the beatings stop. The beatings stop because I got strong enough that I got big enough, she stopped beating me when I was 15 or 16, I don't know how old I was, 12, 13, 14, and because she feared that I beat her back, she said it literally. So it didn't stop because, what I mean is, the dynamics, the unhealthy dynamics are part of stuff that she still carries around with her, and she admitted that she does not believe in trauma even though she said no, the exact same thing happened with her, and it's heavy stuff, mom coming home and everything has to be tip top, a little 4-year-old girl has to do everything perfectly at home, and if nothing was up to meticulous standard, she got beaten. That's how she said it to me. Maybe and maybe my mom lies. Like this is what this now this makes it completely like takes away everything. Maybe she lied, but she also said she never lies. But what if she never lies, and how dare I assume that she lies? Maybe that was a specific lie too, and at this point, reality, considering narcissism, and what if everything was a lie? But it's hard because she has specifically disciplined me to take her word seriously, the things that she says. But she also has specifically told me in her anger and stuff that I should not take her word seriously, and she also proves that through the taking I can't do it in a video like this. It's like it's too much of a cognitive load right now, the way I feel. Like I'm trying to construct a justification and a safety from which I can now move on the way I need to move on, without having to give up on the stuff that makes me not feel like I want to die. So workout has to remain, this food plan has to remain, and my art has to remain, even though I have put it back a lot of times. And I feel like I have to make money with my art, but I don't know how. I also don't want to look it up, because maybe I will find out that you can't be happy. You can't avoid the way my parents suffer. Like you have to become sick at the end, one way or another. And what if I find this out, and now I'm at the same like, it's also validating listening to Trent Reznor's podcast with Rick Rubin, and he says like, what if I find out I have nothing to say, when he was about to start his own music career or something like this. I don't know how to say it. Do his own music under his own quill and under his own name or something like this, and not as a part of a band. Do his own thing. That's what he said. And I realized it's the same thing. What if I find out that it's not better? Like there's no difference then, doing art. There's no difference, or trying to find a better way of being. It's no different than just not thinking at all and just doing your 9 to 5 and withering away. And it's like the same thing, just in green. It's like 9 to 5, you barely get any. You get exhausted, and toxic workers, or it's the same thing as if when I would do my art, and it's no money, and it's it's like apples, and it's just too. There's nothing, What if I find out there's no healthy way of being on planet Earth? And this ties directly to what my parents said, inevitably justifying, but their perspective was, I'm doing the reasoning based on the stuff I've learned from them and the limitations that I internalized. So, of course, I would come to the exact same conclusion as them. Yeah. I want to call my grandfather. This time I have to ask for a little bit more money. Last time I needed 700. And now with me putting my laptop for sale, and now coming up, I have to pay my university fee, and I'm afraid that he will ask, like, he will also turn like my parents and say, like, well, how long, was saying that I no longer support you because what the hell you're doing, or maybe thinking that I use all the money to buy drugs or shit like this. And all this fear just comes up. And or him getting mad that I didn't call him at his birthday. We both share the exact same birthday. It's like if I take my mom's words of her calling him a narcissist, it's like narcissist grandfather and narcissist narcissist, what's it called, Enkel in English, narcissist grandfather and narcissist grandchild, basically, both Ismails, Ismail in Ismail Jr. Little mini me. I don't know. I'm afraid still. And now it has led to me running this money completely dry, to the point of, I have no other choice than for me to call. And now I understand some of the people who are on the verge, because there's more than just, seeing it logically, because feelings have to be acknowledged, and the active steps to process them, otherwise they will hold you back, even though you have a sound reasoning process, because you're not really reasoning with everything on yourself. So this is what holds you back, and what holds me back, presuming that it's similar. Yeah, that's what I think. I feel okay leaving it at this.